Right now it's my pleasure to introduce your host, Councillor Sarah Hutton, Civic Cabinet Chair for Customer Services and Councillor for Jamboree Ward. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nicole, and it is my absolute pleasure to be hosting you on behalf of the Lord Mayor Adrian Schooner. Now, he's actually disappointed that he couldn't be here today, but I am so happy to be bringing this event to you. Now, we have a few very important dignitaries to acknowledge in the room today. So obviously we have Paul Buttle, the chairman of the Camp Columbia Heritage Association, which I'm sure that each and every one of you know personally. We have the Honorary Consul of the Netherlands for Queensland, Margin Wind. Thank you so much for being here with us. The Colonel Andrew Clark, here from the Army Attaché for the US Mission in Australia. And Mr. Paul, I'm going to get my best Dutch on, Paul Jack Van Hoven, the director of the Borkman Museum in the Netherlands, and obviously all of our incredible distinguished guests. Now, this event has been a long time in the making. Now, I'm not talking about the wonderful civic reception tonight, but the incredible symposium that we have planned for the next couple of days. Now, this could not have been possible without one person, and that is Paul. Now, Paul has a deep love of our World War II history, and particularly the Dutch here in Brisbane. Now, I'm very fortunate to have met Paul through the Pooh Corner experience. So, I am in the ward in Wacom, and we have Pooh Corner, which was the original settlement of Camp Columbia. Now, I met Paul, and his passion and enthusiasm for the history of this space was palatable, as I'm sure you already know, and he has gone on an incredible journey where we have found daggers, we've found coins, we've found an array of different items that have really been a fantastic opportunity to tell the story. Now, I was talking to one of our other guests here earlier, and it is all about telling the story. It's about bringing to life that history from 80 years ago that is a little foreign to some of us. And so it is bringing that personality, it's bringing those humans back into the frame of what they experienced, what it was like. And I really want to say a big thank you to Paul, because without his dedication, his commitment, and his focus, this would not be happening this weekend. So can we please give Paul a big round of applause? Now, I do also want to recognise the Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands, as they are the main sponsor of the symposium, and together with Brisbane City Council, a founding supporter of the association. Dutch funding also enabled the University of Queensland's early archaeological work at Camp Columbia, which I mentioned, the daggers and the coins, which directly led to the association's creation. Our Lord Mayor has expressed a strong desire to see Brisbane's wartime role recognised more prominently, nationally and internationally, including the Australian War Memorial. This symposium, alongside Monday's tour of Brisbane's key wartime sites, is a powerful step in achieving that recognition. As we look back, we must always look forward. This gathering strengthens the enduring friendship between Australia, the Netherlands, the US and the United Kingdom. Partnerships forged in time of great challenge and carried forward in peace. On behalf of Brisbane City Council, the Lord Mayor and the City of Brisbane, I thank the Camp Columbia Heritage Association for its leadership, the Embassy of the Kingdom of Netherlands for its generous support, and for all of you being here to honour and advance this legacy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Councillor Hutton, for those beautiful words about Paul, and certainly you will recall that it was Paul who came to us at the last Asia Pacific City Summit with this idea, and it's great to see you brought this to fruition alongside Paul. It is now my great pleasure to invite Paul to the lectern, who is the chairman of the Camp Columbia Heritage Association, to say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I start talking to you, one thing.
Aww.
Thank you, Sarah.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
That wasn't on the program.
Welcome, of course, also from me, and a warm welcome to all of you. Mayon, representing our ambassador, and Paul Jacques, who's here from the Netherlands, of course, Sarah. And why did I go to Sarah this way? Because from the very first moment, Bart and I, and Ed, I don't know if Ed is here already, we went to Sarah's office, yeah, very early in the space. And we went to Sarah's office and we said, oh, you know, we have this heritage possibility here in Camp. I said, yes, wow, fantastic. Yeah. So from the very first moment onward, Sarah has been our main supporter. She immediately introduced us to Brisbane City Council, to the right people, cut through the bureaucracy, got to the right people, and you know, started things happening. We've got a beautiful sign at Pool Corner. The ones who are going on the bus will see that on Monday, sponsored by Brisbane City Council. So we really have a good opportunity. I just got an email from Ed Parker, who is our treasurer, and he's also one of the main people at the Pool Corner Environmental Centre. He said, Paul, you don't know what happened. We had Brisbane City Council here. They cleared the whole area where we are going on Monday, so it's in full view of everybody to see some of the remnants that are there at Camp Columbia. 2 people from Brisbane City Council spent the whole day of yesterday, this morning, to do that especially for us. Now, wow, yeah? That's what I think is fantastic. So yeah, here we are. It has been an absolutely fantastic job to do. You know, it's hard work, you know, very hard work, but you know, I had a fantastic team. The Camp Columbia Heritage Association team is just fabulous. And I really want to mention their names because one of the things that we also ask you today and tomorrow, I'll ask it tomorrow as well, we've got the project going. Now we need more people. We need more people on the board. We need more people in the research. We need more people for archaeological work. We need more people to help us in getting this going. And most of you are enthusiastic about this particular activity that we are doing. So really we are looking forward to work with more of you on this fantastic project. So I'll mention the names. They have to wave their hands so you know who the people are, where you can go to and say, hey, yes, you know, what can I do? Can I help? Nonya. Nonya is there. She's the main convener of the conference. She will be there, of course, tomorrow in charge of the conference. Jorien is our secretary, and she's, you know, big work behind the scene. That's what Jorien is doing. Then we've got, is Ed here? Not yet. Then Ethan. And you will see him tomorrow because he's the major person who's doing the exhibition, yeah? So he's in charge of that. Agir, there is Agir, and he's standing next to Leon, and they have a fantastic number of banners they've made that for tomorrow, and you will be amazed how fantastic they look. So, you know, we've got a great team together, and we are looking forward to work with you. The last one that I want to mention is Bart, who was here from the very early beginning. He was the first person that said, Paul, I'm coming to help you wherever I can. And so we've got a great team together to help us out. Now, what's Camp Columbia all about? First of all, it's important to know that in 1942, shortly after the bombs on Pearl Harbor fell, the Americans became involved in World War II. And they selected Brisbane as the main port from where they actually start fighting the war in the Pacific. You all know that. We all know about, you know, the enormous American influence and the work that they've done. It's just unbelievable. 1 million American soldiers went through Brisbane. You know, it's just unbelievable. He set up Camp Columbia, 1942. General Douglas MacArthur. Yeah, we all know his name. You know, we've got the MacArthur Museum in town. So he set up Camp Columbia in 1942, and it was one of the major staging camps in the Southwest Pacific, from where the war was fought in the Southwest Pacific. So it was a major staging camp. It was amazing. The Camp Columbia itself, the headquarters, is what's now the prison. But if you look around, there's 15 by 20 kilometers, yeah, of an area, all the way in Darra, all the way to Archerfield, Oxley, all of that area, there were all sorts of facilities in there. There were maintenance facilities, transport facilities, a camp for the black Americans, hospitals, 3 hospitals. It was just enormous, yeah, the amount of facilities that were there served by the Americans. The Americans in 1944 went on to Hollandia, in what was that Dutch New Guinea, and the staging camp in going to the Philippines and from there to Japan was actually happening in that particular area. Then in 1944, the Dutch consolidated their activities in the Netherlands because some 20,000 Dutch people had fled from Indonesia, Dutch East Indies as it was called in those days, to Australia when the Japanese invaded the Netherlands East Indies. So 20,000 people arrived here. Lots of them were actually brown people, yeah? People that had either mixed blood, Dutch and Indonesian blood, or were Indonesian people. That in itself was a problem with a white Australian policy. I'm not going into that at the moment. But in any case, they came here. In 1944, the Dutch established the Netherlands East Indies government in exile. That's the only time there has been a government in exile in Australia. Dutch military could run around here with weapons, could arrest Dutch people, you know, had full control over the Dutch activities in Australia. Very unusual situation, of course. The only time it happened, and since then also never happened again. So in 1942, 1944, the Dutch took over. There was the intelligence service. From there, the Navy was organized. All sorts of activities happened from Camp Columbia. There were squadrons in the north, 2 Dutch-Australian squadrons in the north, the 18th and the 19th squadron. There were transport squadrons in Archiefield Airport. We've got a big picture of that tomorrow in the exhibition. So there's lots of activities that were happening here in that area. What you will see tomorrow as well in the exhibition is, it's not a dagger.
Oh,
it's a ceremonial sword.
Sorry,
It's a ceremonial sword.
Sorry. That just sounded more fun.
And that is really interesting because this, you know, we asked people like Paul Jacques, he's from the Netherlands, one of the main colonial museums, of the colonial museum in the Netherlands, linked to the Netherlands East Indies. So we asked Paul Jacques and his staff, at the pictures that we got, was the sword was found in a pit in what's now Poole Corner Camp Columbia. Was found in a pit by some people. I don't know if Cody is here tonight. Cody? No, 2 people, Joe and Cody. Tomorrow they will be there. They found a sword. They start cleaning it, and it looks like the top is gold plated or something like that. We sent it to Paul Jacques, and they came back. This is absolutely a ceremonial sword. Can only be used by the highest officials, so that either be the Governor General or his adjutant or whatever, has to be used by them. This is the artifact that links the fact that we had a foreign government in Australia, the only artifact that we have that shows the foreign government on Australian soil, in Brisbane soil. So in that respect, it's a very, very special artifact that linked that historic element together. So all of that will be, you know, we'll can have a look at that tomorrow. That's it for me. Tomorrow you will hear more again, of course, from so many speakers who will be here. Once again, a big thank you, Sarah, for organizing it. Please thank the Lord Mayor. I spoke to the Lord Mayor and a couple of weeks ago, and I mentioned to him the fact that Brisbane is the capital, allied capital of Australia. If you go to the Australian War Museum, you won't find that information. It's amazing that Brisbane is not on that map. So I spoke to the Lord Mayor about it, and we're going to do something about it. Yeah? So you know that's what we want to do. We are the allied capital of Australia. You know, we had 4 forces here: the Americans, the Australians, the Dutch, and the Brits. It's worthwhile, you know, that gets on the map as well. So that's what we're going to do with the Lord Mayor. Hope to see you all tomorrow, fresh, and there will be lots of interesting talk tomorrow for everybody. So looking forward to see you tomorrow. Thank you all, and thank you for the big support that you all have given us. Thank you.